Okay.
We are recording now. One second. Okay. All right. Welcome to the Set Breaker Podcast, and today we have a guest. His name is Tomfool. Not really sure what your last name is. Is that private?
It's Tomfool. Tomfool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
Tomfool.
it's my stage name.
Got it. Tomfool. mikekimcomedy. All that shit. So, guys, if you don't know who Tomfool is, Tomfool, he is. We met through TikTok, and this dude's got a amazing following with awesome Fortnite / comedy. Good stuff. How many followers do you have on? What is it, like 800,000?
Yeah, I just hit 800,000 like yesterday or something like that.
Dude, you were at like 500,000, like barely like a month or two ago.
The past month, I've been growing like crazy. I don't know what it is. I feel like they changed their algorithm, so like a lot of my old videos are like popping off, and I'm just like, so I'll just randomly get like 6K in a day. I'm just like, I didn't even post, so it's like, I feel like it's just their algorithm changed a little bit.
Yeah. That's crazy because like at one point I was getting 1 to 2K a day, and it just died down. I get like 100 a day, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like that happens too. Like, I'm saying, like, you'll go through roller coasters. Like, you'll have those high view weeks, and then like some weeks you'll be like, "Yo, what's going on?" you think the algorithm changed, but I think ultimately it's like it comes down to like the content, like if it's viral or not.
Yeah. I think I just got so used to a specific type of content just popping off, and then I was like, let me just do the same shit, and then I expect it, right?
Yeah,
to do the same exact
you can't
thing.
attach yourself.
I know. You've been telling me that. I think in like the past 2 lives or something, it's like you gotta let go. And I was like, no, you're right. And then a week later, I'm like, fuck, my life's over.
Yeah, that was something I struggled with too. When you get like your expectations keep getting raised every single time you grow. So when you go back to the low numbers, even when you first started, that was like a high number. Your expectations like different. So you just can't be attached to the results. The results are in the past, dude. Like you shouldn't focus on them.
Yeah, I know. It's just yeah, I'm better now though. I'm much better.
That's good. As long as you're aware, you can fix it,
Exactly. So what were we talking about? We were talking about how off camera that you used to smoke a lot of weed. Is that correct?
I smoked. Yeah, I used to.
Yeah.
But the reason I stopped was because I feel like my happiness was becoming dependent on it. And like I said, like when your happiness depends on someone or something and it doesn't come from within, like it's just not good for you. So anything from the external world, if you're relying on that for your happiness, it's not going to fix. Like you have to have inner peace or inner happiness. And that's like the real ecstasy, the real happiness. It comes from the inside, not any like external.
Not the drug ecstasy like I used to be
No.
addicted to.
Yeah, not that. It's much better. It's like comes from within, And it's like a happy bliss, permanent. It's just there all day.
That is very true. Good. Yeah, it's like a nuclear power reactor versus throwing coal into a fucking train.
Yeah, your pineal gland, if you want to go like scientific about it, like it secretes this chemical. I'm not sure what, but even like a drop of it, it just changes your whole like chemistry of your body. It's pretty nuts.
What? A drop of the?
There's like this, your pineal gland in your brain.
So it's in the back of the brain.
No, it's like in the middle.
In the middle.
But they say like that's like the only part of your body that's like connected like spiritually. I don't know. I don't want to go like too deep into it, but when you activate that part of your brain, it just raises your like energy. I don't know. I can't really put it into words, but it's like a happy bliss, just permanently,
Kind of like when we get endorphins rushing from
exercising.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah, like dopamine, like, but it's like better than that. Like dopamine is just like happiness. Yeah.
Damn.
I feel like they're correlated decent amount.
Okay, how awkward is it that you have to look? Okay, so guys, if you're watching the
Yeah, I'm
YouTube
like, I
right
don't
now,
know. I'm trying to like, I don't know what to look at, dude.
yeah. So the
I'm like,
camera, his camera is separate from the monitor, so the camera is
uh-huh.
facing directly at him.
Yeah.
But for him to
Where I'm
see
looking right
me,
now.
it's on the right side of the camera. So
Uh-huh.
he's like, oh, what should I look at? And I'm like, well, we want to make it look like you're looking at us, so you gotta look at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
camera.
yeah.
But
I
it's
got you.
awkward because he can't see me.
Yeah. When I look this way, I'm looking at you. When I look like right here, I'm talking to you guys. So like, it's hard to focus. I like just look at the camera because I can see you in my
Yeah,
peripheral right here. So I don't know.
yeah.
I'll try to focus more right here and just block you out.
Okay.
I don't know. And then I just went straight there. See, I don't know, dude. I told you, like, I'm still not fully comfortable in front of the camera, even though I've been doing this. I don't even know how long. Maybe like talking in front of the camera, like 2 years, maybe.
Mhm.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to meditate on it. I've been meditating for a while, but I never really practiced meditating and like visualizing that I'm talking to the camera. So I feel like that would help a lot. But I'm definitely a lot more comfortable from when I first started. If you look at my first stuff, oh my gosh, I can't even watch it. It's so cringy.
Damn, I want to watch it.
Yeah, I know. Like from a year from now, I'm gonna look at this and be like, yikes, you know?
Like, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah, yeah.
So how old of the video are we talking? Like, how long ago was this? Like the very, very first ones, you mean?
Yeah, very first. Well, I was doing like gaming stuff, but I didn't start putting my like webcam on it till like a little bit over 2 years ago.
What made you want to do that?
I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue. I was just kind of drifting my whole life, just like didn't know where I was going, just like just doing one thing, going to the next. Like I did music for a while, lost interest, did over something like this. Like, oh, I just ate it. Sorry, but like I was just a drifter. I'm going one thing and next, like shiny object syndrome, where you're just like you're interested in this thing, and then the next time, like the next thing, is like jumping. You know, I wasn't focused.
Okay. But what made you choose Fortnite? Were you doing like a different game at first? Yeah. Oh, by the way, in case you guys don't know, that's what really blew you up, right? Was like
Yeah, Fortnite.
was
Yeah.
Fortnite. So he makes a lot of
Mm.
Fortnite content, which is mixed with comedy. And
Mm.
yeah, on your YouTube, you got 38,600. Congrats, by
Yeah,
the way.
my YouTube is ever since I started manifesting, dude, and I just changed my whole mindset. My
Yeah.
YouTube is finally like I'm getting over 1,000 subs a day.
Wow.
Yeah. My goal is to hit 1 million, which I've already hit in my head, like no brainer. I already feel like I already feel like I did it, you know? So I got a lot of goals. So that's one of them. That was the problem I had before, was when I was drifting, I didn't have any goals. I didn't know where I was going, didn't know left from right. But when you set a goal and you stick to it, that really helps guide you, I feel. When you just have that unwavering focus, they call it, it really, like, once you have that focus, there's no stopping you.
So obviously you have big goals such as the 1 million on YouTube, but in between that, for let's say YouTube.
That's a smaller my big goal.
Oh, okay.
That's
So that's your.
one.
All right, yeah, you answered the question. Yeah, okay. So that's
Yeah.
what's your big goal of YouTube then?
Should I tell you all my goals right now?
Yeah, fuck it, go. Let's do it.
All
Let's
right,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Well, because you have to have a mindset of abundance, which I could go on for. Like, I used to have, like, even with money, you realize money, a lot of people think money is like the root of all evil, but you have to, there's like this law of polarity where everything's good or bad, but neither good or bad. So money's not good or bad, it's how you view it. So my mindset on money was very limited. I didn't want it because I was like, I just see all like the evil is going on in the world, and I didn't want the focus of my life to be money. So you have to have a good relationship with money if you want to have money. I've come to that conclusion. And it's money, you think, because I used to think like people think money, happiness comes from money, but it's actually, or the opposite. So money is the effect of happiness. So when you're happy, you're making money. You have to kind of switch your mindset of it. but you just have to, overall, you have to have an abundance mindset where anything's possible. You can do anything. That's what I'm saying. When I set my goals, I know, like, there's no limit. Like, if you're limiting yourself, like, ask yourself why you're limiting yourself. Like, why are you setting your goal like at 10K compared to like a million? That's your fear in your head, where it's like, that fear in your head, you got to totally ignore it. You don't listen to that. So abundance mindset is super important. Now to my goals, this is what I have planned so far. In 5 years, on June 4th, 2025, which will be my birthday, I will have $5 million in the bank. Before then, I will have 1 million subs on YouTube. I will become a successful real estate investor. I really want to get into real estate. I've been learning it on the side, like here and there. And I think there's just a lot of opportunity in it. I eventually want to create my own anime show.
Anime?
Yeah, anime.
Yeah.
I do. I watch so much anime.
Do you really? Oh shit.
Like, that was like when I was depressed, I was just like, I feel like there's a direct correlation between anime and depression, because all people like depressed are watching anime, you know?
True, that's facts.
Yeah, I know. So like, I want to make an anime show that teaches the drifters, like how I was, how to live the life, how to come out of that darkness, and how to live happy and just a successful life. Because like, the only way you can get to the drifters is by something like TV or media, because that's like what they're doing. So like, Naruto really affected me. I feel like it's really just his mindset just kind of like influenced my mindset, like never give up, never blah blah blah. So I feel like I can affect a lot of people that way. And my overall goal, my most important goal that I tell myself all the time, is that I want to influence millions of people. Like, I want people to feel exactly how I'm feeling right now. Like, I used to be so depressed for like 6 years. 6 years. I bottled in all my emotions. I didn't tell anyone. I just kept it all myself, because like, you measure yourself as a man is like how successful you are, or just like where you are in life. And when you just, the only way out, I forgot where I was going with that, but when basically, that's just your mind. Your intellect is playing tricks on you. It's like your ego. And once you get past that, I want to show people how to get past that so they can live a happy life. So overall, I want to influence millions of people, bring them out of the darkness, show them how to live a good life.
I really love that. That's a great goal. How old are you again?
I just turned 24 3 days ago.
24. Yeah, dude, your mentality is light years ahead of a lot of people.
Dude, it doesn't matter your age. It's just whenever you get to that stage where you like kind of like become enlightened, I feel like you have to go through a lot. Everyone that gets to that stage has to go through a lot of suffering, you know?
True.
That's why our whole ego, like, we evolve physically, but we also have to evolve like spiritually, like mentally, because like our ego is there for a reason, to evolve our consciousness, basically. So once you get past that suffering, you're evolving your consciousness. I don't know how deep you want to get. I get pretty deep into this like meditation stuff.
Yeah.
But I used to not even be spiritual until I was like, I just hit my breaking point where I started crying, because I said like I never cried. I was just sleeping all day, because like that was the only thing that could escape. Like, I didn't want to deal with life, so like I would just sleep all day.
But no, you bring up a lot of great points, because that's also where I find that I was losing myself, is when, one, I wasn't doing the routines and the schedules, and then two, not having goals, or like, well, having the goals but not looking at it, so you forget about them. So when you look at it every day or throughout the day, it reminds you what you're doing it for. Because I wasn't doing that, it was making me, I was married to these temporary results, these vanity metrics of like TikTok and just not getting as many views. I was like, I was the one preaching before, it doesn't fucking matter, post every day, it goes up and down, and I forgot all about that. And I'm just like, oh, why do I only have this many?
Yeah, you'll drift like you'll drift in and out of it if you're not focused on it, because your brain has the awesome ability to forget. It's like so you have to keep consistent with it, or you'll kind of like people fall in and out of enlightenment. So you have to be consistent with it. That's why I meditate every day.
Damn. How long do you meditate for?
I meditate like 25 minutes morning, and then 25 minutes right before I go to bed. All for like specific reasons. So like in the morning, when you're just waking up, I think you're like, I'm not sure like the technical terms, but you're going from like delta to theta brain waves. I forgot, but your brain's pretty empty. It's not busy. So it's a lot easier to meditate and just not think of anything in the morning. And it starts off your day really good. So when you start off your day, it really depends how you start off your day, because that'll affect your whole rest of your day. And then as far as sleep goes, when you meditate before you go to bed, the last thing you're thinking about before you go to bed is what you dream about. Like most people think dreams are just like a waste of time, but I've come to the like I used to think that, but you can
wait. Who said dreams are a waste of time?
No, like a lot of people like what are dreams?
Sleeping,
like,
dreaming?
Yeah, like what do you think dreams are for? Like what's the purpose of dreams?
It's letting you know what's really going on inside.
Okay, but see, you're up here, right? Not most people are like down here. There's like they're unconscious, like they're like, why are we? Like before I was like, why? I didn't hold any significance to dreaming. Like I thought it was just like you go to bed, dream, whatever. But you can actually use your dreams to like program your subconscious, and like it'll help you in real life. Your brain is more. It's so stimulated while you're sleeping. Even while you go to sleep, it's still firing. It's firing. You're just not conscious of what's going on.
True. That is. Oh, damn. Yeah. All that stuff. It does add up. That's why I have that whole morning routine, which I didn't do this week because I was drifting. But that's why people are like, oh, how do you stay all positive during this whole quarantine, this and that? How do you keep productive? It just like you said, it's how you start your day. That's why they're like, that's why I take a cold shower, because it fucking wakes me up. Every morning I take a cold shower. I drink water to get hydrated, journal, all that stuff to get rid of that shit that happened from overnight of not moving, of because I don't know. I always wake up with anxiety, but that's why I have to do that. Otherwise, if I just go straight to, let's say, watching anime, which I've done, then it just leads to just a really bad day. And I'm like, if I watch more anime, that's me resting to feel better, but it doesn't actually feel better.
If you can recognize it at the beginning, or like your anxiety, for example, as soon as your anxiety like pops up, if you can recognize it at the beginning, that's the best time to like stop it. Oh my gosh, dude, I got burps all the time. But once you get deeper into it, it's harder to stop. It's like my depression was like, now I can stop it more towards the beginning, but I would just get so sunk into it. Like, so your intellect your brain will go against you unless you know how to control it. And when you're deeper and deeper in it, it's harder to stop.
That's very true. And then when you're in it, and you get used to being in it, it becomes your identity. And because it's a part of your identity, the brain is good at justifying or looking for reasons to continue being that thing that you see yourself as. So if you always tell yourself, I'm depressed, because I was depressed for a long fucking time, many years.
Yeah, that sounds same.
Right. Maybe that's where our humor is very similar. Yeah, exactly. No, because I was like I was watching one of Tom's videos where you do shit that I do, where you're like just singing randomly, last Christmas I gave it, like, I swear to God, I don't know what it is, but there is some.
Our waves are resonating. I think it's because like, I don't know. I remember I first saw you. You can tell someone's energy. I was like, yeah, this is a cool guy. And then we got to know each other, and was like, you like Bobby Lee's like my favorite Asian comedian. You said you like Bobby Lee a lot. Just like our energy is very similar.
Yeah. What video brought you to see my stuff?
I think it was the F-boy.
The F-boy stuff? The Confessions of Former?
I think it was, yeah. And then I checked out your page, and then I was like, yeah, this guy's got talent. So I was like, let me throw him a follow. That's what I like, dude. I like TikTok because like you can recognize when there's talent and like when someone can make it, and that's what I saw like that's what I saw in you, and like I just like to uplift those people because sometimes like you don't feel like you can make it, but I could see your potential. Like I know you're gonna make it, but you
Wow.
can't always see it. So like I try to like encourage people like that. Just like keep it up, you know?
I appreciate that because look, all the times you told me that, because this is our first like actual like voice to voice, face to face
Yeah.
conversation, right? So you'd say that in the chats, but I'm not hearing it with your your energy, your gusto, your life force. But now that
Mm.
I'm hearing it, I'm like, oh shit! Like, it's not that I didn't believe you. I did believe you. It's just I'm hearing it through what I want to hear and how I perceive you, which is a good perception, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this, it's even better now, like being like, oh, this dude is like really, I don't know.
Well, even
Yeah.
us just talking like this is like free flow conversation. It's like our subconscious. It's like you talking. It's like me talking to myself, but I'm getting out of my body. I'm talking to you. It's like I'm talking to my subconscious right now when I'm talking to you. If that makes sense.
No, no, I get you because that's why it's so like
Free
chill
flow and
because
just
we think the
yeah,
same way. Now you do a lot more manifestation than I do, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I've done it. But now I
yeah,
do have to ask you though. Okay,
yeah. What's up?
let me ask you something because I'm very curious. What exactly, if you could put into words, because I know it's more of like a feeling because you can see it, that made you think when you saw me at first, you're like, oh, this dude's, you know, got it or whatever the fuck it is. So I'm very curious because I'm not aware of it. Like you said, it's we can't see it in ourselves. So I'd like to know.
It's like you can't describe some things with language because language isn't properly. It's just your energy. It's
Hmm.
you can just tell when you get to a certain like it's your intuition. You could tell when someone has that energy. When someone you can't really put it into words. Really, you just know it from like a deeper place.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you get it.
That's all I needed to hear. Done.
Yeah,
Next
but you
question. Yeah.
yeah. Do you even how often do you manifest or how often do you meditate?
So lately, the meditation has been zero to nil. Uh,
You can still
none
be
to.
aware during the day. You can still
Oh,
be
oh,
like
yeah. I'm aware of myself, even though this past week has been not so good.
mm,
Because I chose to make it that way. Like I'm very consciously aware of what led to me not feeling good and this and that. I know exactly where it stems from, which is why I don't call it depression. Before I would call things depression. Now there was times I was legitimately depressed, such as if somebody passed away. But besides that, a lot of it is my own doing, which comes from if I didn't sleep enough, if
mm,
I didn't eat, or if I didn't exercise, or if I didn't go outside, which is one of the most important things.
dude.
If you don't go
Yeah,
outside, right? Because if you're
you got
inside
it.
all day, your mentality, your belief in what's possible
Mm,
is going to match the size of the room. So if I stay in this little fucking tiny ass room all day, I'm just gonna be like, that's all to life. TikTok
mm-hmm.
is gonna die. My career, there is no career. But if I go outside and I go to the park and I'm running and it's like boundless, there
Mm-hmm.
is no cap. Then I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh fuck,
dude.
this is
Vitamin
what the
D.
fuck is up, man. Yeah, vitamin D.
Vitamin D makes you feel so good. It's such a big antidepressant. People don't even realize. Like we drink our air is polluted to a certain extent because like we're in a city, our water is polluted to a certain extent. But when you go out in the sun, that's pure energy. There's no pollution in it. So it just feels so good. Like today I worked out. I did I also after I meditate in the morning, I like to go outside and ground myself to the earth to kind of like balance my electronic like field because
Barefoot,
everyone has
barefoot.
yeah, barefoot. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it.
I
On the
smell the
grass.
flower. Yeah, yeah. I smell the flowers. I talk to the plants. I'm touching like I was like looking at these bees today, just like in awe.
Mm.
Where they're taking the pollen. I was like, dude, they're so cute. But but then yeah, I worked out outside and it was like 90 degrees. And I was just, dude, that got my testosterone going. All the sun, like it felt so good. I was sweating like crazy. But most people when it's hot out, I was like, oh, this is blah blah blah. But like I see it as this is gonna test me mentally. And yeah, like you have to push yourself. Like even your workout, it's you're physically exerting yourself, but it's really a mental workout because you have to push yourself.
Yes.
It's all everything falls back to your mentality. So like it's all how you look at a situation. Like some people's like it's too hot. I'm like, dude, hotter the better. Like, test me more. Like, give me something, dude. You know?
Yeah, even when I was running, because I've been running 45 minutes every day since I've been doing the 75 hard program. Which
45 minutes. Wow.
45, yeah, 45 minutes outside a workout, 45 minutes inside every day. I do that workout. So,
jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah, and it's been really training myself. So even when I was like feeling like whatever, blah blah, this week, I still did those exercises. And the running, like you said, it was getting hot, and I was like, I could walk. Let me just walk because it's hot. But then I kept fucking running, and then you can be proud of yourself. It makes yourself stronger mentally because even when you're lifting weights, the physical exertion, it's not true. You're really not tired physically. It's your brain says, hey, it just says like, hey, let me just stop. This is my cap. Oh, since I decided to do 8 to 12 rep range, let me stop at 12, even though I could do 15. Right. So what were you saying?
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's like active meditation, but when you I use the Navy SEAL rule. I don't know if you heard of it, but like once I saw it like on YouTube a while ago. It was like once you hit your breaking point where you can't do anymore, you tell yourself you're only 40% done, and just telling yourself you're only 40% done it'll fire you up. And you'll do so much more than you think you could have, and you kind of just like surprise yourself. So
David Goggins
yeah,
talks
yeah,
about
yeah,
that. Dude, I love following. Dude, David Goggins.
Stay hard.
Stay hard. Stay hard.
Yeah, that guy. Okay, he is the extreme. Like, I would not want to be in his troop or his like whatever. Yeah. I'm like, I'm strong mentally, but that guy's next level, dude.
Yeah, his feet were broken in an ultra marathon, and he just tapes
splints.
it. Literally, his feet were broken, and he's running another like 100 miles or some shit, and he shit out or pissed out blood. Like, dude, that guy is a fucking monster. When I first came across him on Joe Rogan's podcast, I was like, whoa, like, what am I complaining about? Now again, like, I'm not David Goggins. I'm never going to be David Goggins. I don't want to be David Goggins, but there's something to be learned with that type of mentality. Like, you kind of got to run towards the shit, because when you run towards the so-called shit, that makes you stronger. And a lot of times it's the stuff that we don't want to do, which is the stuff that we're supposed to do, right? That's the North Star.
When you're comfortable, you're not growing. You have to be uncomfortable. That's the only way you know you're growing, is if you're in an uncomfortable situation, if you're facing your fears, if you're just, you have to be uncomfortable. That's the only way you can grow.
That's true. Damn, I feel like literally that whole section right there, I don't even remember what we talked about. Do you know why? Because it was like it's my subconscious, like you said.
Yeah, free flow. It's just that free flow.
Natural as fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. It's weird because we both had that feeling like, oh, we for sure resonate. Like we think the same way. But this fucking proves it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, it's Tomfool.
I could go on and on, but I'll tell you. You said earlier your habits. That is so important. You have to change your habits, because that will change a lot of things. Even if, like, just give yourself a challenge. You have to give yourself a challenge to do something for 30 days. That, like, I told myself I was gonna meditate for 30 days, and once you do it, you're probably like by the 3-week mark, it'll become a habit, and it'll just become automatic. Like, you don't even have to think about it. But my morning routine, I used to go to bed late, blah, 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 blah. But now I wake up early, I work out right away, don't take any caffeine. I used to take a caffeine. No, I wake up, meditate, go outside, ground with the earth, talk to the plants, get some vitamin D. Then I work out, and then I have my whole day to work. And that just sets me up for success. It's like a good routine, yeah.
So when you're doing work, which is like a lot of content creation, right? So you're a one-man team with all this stuff, correct?
Yeah. I'm about to hire like someone to do my thumbnails, because I noticed like my stats for thumbnails are like 13% when it's shown to unique visitors. So I need to get that up a lot. So I was like, I'm going to hire someone to do that.
Someone who knows what they're doing.
Mostly by myself. Like, I edit everything by myself.
Yeah.
It takes a while to edit too. It's like I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'll edit straight for 12 hours. And then I'll post at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Like 12 hours straight.
Dude, people that don't video edit, they don't understand how much work goes into it. And when you watch some of these videos that like that we make, It doesn't seem like it'd be that hard, but it takes time to do it right, to like kind of add the layers and just all that little shit, man, you know?
There's an art.
Yeah.
It takes a while to develop the how you it's an art to it, because like you need to know how the video flows. You need to know certain camera angles. You need to know this. You just need to know how to make it flow and keep the viewer interested the whole time, which is it's very hard, but it's also simple. So like they say simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication, but it's hard to get a nice simple. If it looks simple, then like you did your job. You can tell. I don't know how to convey it properly.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because it's like you're watching it, and it's so seamless that, but they're still like engaged into it. That's when you did your job. They're still paying attention. They finished the whole video. They enjoyed themselves, but they're not sitting there just thinking about like,
it's like
anything but how they feel and what they got value wise.
Yeah. It's like an athlete that's been practicing for years and years to master a certain skill. They make it look effortless, like they're not even trying, but it takes a long time to get to that point, you know?
Yeah, and the good news with, you know, starting off as like a one-man, the reason why I do like one-man team stuff is because it's really hard to find people that are going to be as dedicated as you, because nobody's going to care about your stuff as much as you will. But even then, there's people that say they care about pursuing their dreams or making shit happen. They don't really care. They always drop off like flies. I used to have a team where we made skits all the time. I was like, all you have to do is show up and just talk. I write the script, I shoot it, I edit it, I do everything. That's hours upon hours upon hours. And they still drop like flies even after we made some bomb ass shit, right? Because they just don't want it.
Exactly. You have to have the mindset. That is the most important thing. If they don't have your mindset, it's like they're just not gonna last. You have to. It takes certain dedication, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's on like a whole nother level with that stuff. But
like, it's people are like selfish too. So like, you have to make it a win-win for you and them. If you want them to be fully invested, like you're saying, you want them to be fully in it, you have to give them like a very good incentive, so they really put their emotion and heart into it. That's why like a lot of like volunteer services, their volunteers are working for free, but they have like their heart and emotion into it. So like they have a good team.
Yeah, they get intrinsic value from that stuff. Yeah. Damn, man. So what made you choose Fortnite?
Well, I started off in COD. Modern Warfare 2 is probably my favorite game, but I used to grow and sell like Instagram accounts. And I was like, Fortnite's growing, I'm gonna make an account here, blah blah blah. Made like Instagram account, grew it to like 120K followers. Nothing with my face or anything, just like gameplay and stuff. But then I sold that for like $3,000, and then I bought my PC with it. I bought my camera with it. I bought like all my stuff to start off my personal brand, because I was like, you need a personal brand for long term, because I knew this like these little like pages are not gonna last. So I wanted to make it long term, which is working out. So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. All right. So I do have a question about TikTok, because you have been, you have more experience than I do. What would you say that I could do more of? I'm not really saying like, like specifics, but just like, is it just, I don't know, posting more? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
Well, if you listen to Gary Vee, he's like post 50 times a day. But honestly, I post like 2, tops 3 a day.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, I don't know, when I post less, I feel like sometimes it goes better in the hashtags personally. But I don't know. There's some people, it depends on your account, because like you can have like really quality content and post less frequently, or you can have just like kind of like spam content and just post a bunch. So it's really, it depends on your account how much you post. If it's more quality, or if it's more just like chill, lay back, whatever.
True, because that's what I'm kind of experimenting with. Because at first I was always just like, oh, I got to talk about this. This really, really matters, or this really, really will be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's like was quality. And then I went from that to just mixing in kind of like whatever stuff here and there. So
It's you really gotta test it. It's so like the algorithm is you have to test whatever works for you. Just keep doing it. Just like everyone's gonna have a different method, but as far as getting your videos like ranks, you really want to focus on the watch percentage, like how much, like the retention of how much they watch, because if you have to keep them engaged the whole video, basically. You want to focus on that most importantly. Shares, everything else. I would say shares maybe second. Doesn't really matter, but the most important thing is the watch time.
Oh fuck, that
So
makes
like,
sense.
if you have something that's like boring,
yeah,
it's not gonna blow up in the first 3 seconds. It's just like journalism. Like it's in the first 3 seconds, you have to hook them. Like you have to engage them. You have to get them, because like social media, you're just scrolling. If you don't have something that grabs your attention right away, it's not gonna keep them engaged.
that's so true. Because what I was doing was then I went into the For You page and I saw some videos just like pop off and they weren't that interesting in the beginning. So I was like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter as much. So I experimented with that, but that actually hurt me. So I'm just like, okay, time to go back to really, hacking the attention immediately and all that. And yeah, Gary Vee is the man. I mean, that's the whole reason why I made a TikTok. That's the whole reason why I started being even more vulnerable and sharing what I had to say, which led to Confessions of a Former Fuckboy, which led to you saying my shit, right? And that's what helped,
That's how we met, dude. Thanks,
and I started making it. Because I just kept getting hit up by so many people asking me for relationship advice. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. I'm not that guy. I'm not just that guy. I have other stuff, but yeah.
You have to find a balance between like what people want and what you want. Because like some of the stuff I post, I'm just like, I know this is not going to do good, but I know that people like that do watch it, it's going to you're going to build a lot deeper of a connection with them.
True.
So like your audience that's already there, you want to keep focusing on them. But even if you know it's not going to go viral, like the longer post, like content stuff on TikTok, if I post like a long video, I know it's not going to do as good unless it's like really engaging. But for the most part, I know it's not going to do that good. But I don't care because I know it's going to build a deeper connection.
Yeah, because it's better to have like 10,000 diehard followers than like a million people that don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. Like eventually when you're selling your merch, like you want those diehard fans are the ones that are going to be buying it.
True. Do you sell merch right now?
No. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Maybe I don't know. I haven't even thought about it. Sometime down the road.
It's much later. Yeah,
when I had a million subs, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like doing it too soon is bad. Too soon is too bad.
Could be, could not be. It's like whatever. It's neither good or bad. But you just don't. You don't expect a lot of sales. Like you could get some sales, but just don't expect that much.
Damn, man. When's your birthday again?
June 4th, 3 days ago.
Oh shit! Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, dude. You even wish me a birthday. That's messed up.
Yeah, I was just testing you to see if you'd still stick around.
Yeah, when's your birthday?
July 9.
I'll make sure to tell you happy birthday. I'll make sure to tell you to make you feel guilty. Oh, dude. Oh, shit.
It's like, oh my god, yeah. I'm turning 31, man.
Damn, dude, you're not that old.
Yeah, no, I'm still young, man.
Yeah, dude. You got plenty of time. I mean, yeah, you're good, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah.
What's your goal right now? What are you trying to hit?
You're gonna like period?
Yeah, like what are you trying to do right now?
I just started thinking about YouTube more a few days ago, which is actually why I bought that new MacBook. But I want to put out way more YouTube content, like 2 to 3 videos a week besides my podcast, because I release a podcast every single week. I've released one every week without fail for 34 weeks.
That's good.
So
that's good.
But that's not the main thing. And that's not the only thing. Like I want to create other content that I really care about, which I was doing before. And I was like, oh, if I get it back, we're gonna do that. But anyways, going back to the question. Yeah, releasing 2-3 videos on YouTube besides the podcast and growing that. And then just hitting a, I don't know, just really figuring out my TikTok thing, because I understand that I am the vulnerable guy, which is why all of my followers are like, dude, I appreciate you because you're real as fuck, this and that. But I'm trying to think of what's the most, that has the most, how do I say it? Like longevity. Because like I can only talk about so many different opinions for so long. Just
so you don't specifically know what you're doing then yet.
On TikTok, I have no idea. I just say whatever the fuck I want and then tell stories. I don't know. And skits.
What about for your YouTube?
My YouTube, it would be a bunch of just random stuff, just like more mukbangs. Try that. Just more experimentation because I don't really have a niche.
Like vlogs.
Like yeah, like that's actually that was one of the main things. Yeah.
Like a personal brand type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you you just need to focus. Just keep focusing down on like specifically what you want. And then once you have it very specific, then you can really attach yourself to that goal. Or you can really focus on that goal, not attach yourself.
Yeah, because then you know which weapon to use, right? Because it's like I can be training with the pistol, the AR-15, a knife, all these things, but it's like you gotta kind of master. You gotta choose one weapon to really master, so you can really focus on that. And like, okay, how am I gonna? If I choose a knife, how am I gonna chop this chicken up?
Nice, dude. That was a good analogy.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was gonna go very violent and bloody, but I decided to
tone it down a little bit. I appreciate it.
Just tone it down, just like a little bit, man, a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure the audience appreciates it.
Yeah. How is your whole family? How do they view your whole thing that you're doing?
They're supportive now. They were doubtful. I mean, they've always been like supportive of like what I'm like doing, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very grateful for that because not everyone's parents support what they're doing, but they're definitely doubtful. They definitely had a lot of doubts. They're like, dude, are you sure? Like, go back to school. Like, come on, go back to school. Like, maybe you want to be interested in this. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, no. No. I know, like since I was a freshman in high school, I was just like, school is a waste of time. Why am I here? Like, this is dumb. Like, this is not gonna teach me anything about life. I just knew school wasn't for me. It could be for some people. If it's for you, then go for it, you know. But I just knew it wasn't for me. And I don't know, ever since I got a little bit of success, so now they're like kind of off my back a little bit. They're like, all right, we see you making a little money. We see you. All right, we'll back off a little bit. You know, so I like that. So they're supportive overall.
That's good. Do you accept sponsorships when people hit you up saying, "Hey, can you
dude, I've got
promote this mobile game?"
Yeah. It's very dependent. It has to be aligned with my vision. If it's not, like, I turn down a lot of money, which I could, like, I don't even care how, like, money, like I said, I don't care about money. Money is not important to me. It's more about being a good influence on people and showing them the right way. But like, I don't even know if I should, but like all right, so G Fuel, I don't know if you know who G Fuel is.
Yeah, G Fuel, yeah.
Yeah, they're like this big, they like dominate the gaming industry for like pre-workout and stuff. And they're like all these huge gamers, all like promote G Fuel, all like they came to me, but I didn't respond back because I don't believe that kids should be having like artificial pre-workout. Dude, there's more caffeine in that than I take in my pre-workout. I'm just like, that's crazy. Like, kids should not be having caffeine. Like, kids should not be having caffeine. Even like adults, you shouldn't be having like as much caffeine. Like, a lot of people think, because all these studies are like funded by these companies, but like caffeine really isn't that good for you. It worsens your sleep, lowers your testosterone. it's a stimulant. So you're not like that natural energy you have as a kid where you're just like hyper, just like that's the real energy. And when you start relying on a stimulant like caffeine, when you don't have it, you're just dead. When you need to have it. So I stopped taking caffeine probably like a month and a half ago, and I've been feeling so good. Like I have so much energy just naturally. And I was just like, wow, this is great.
Less
So
anxiety too.
less anxiety. Yeah, dude, caffeine will definitely cause anxiety if you have anxiety problems.
I do.
Yeah, that's your intellect, dude. Your intellect. There's 4 different levels. Can I go deep right now?
Hell yeah, go deep as you want, man.
As far as intelligence goes, there's like the yogis, they break it down. There's like 4 different dimensions to intelligence. There's your intellect, which is your thought process, where it's just like how you think. Like we're the only like species that really has like a prefrontal cortex where we have the ability to think. But that's also why like we're the only species that's like depressed. Every other, unless you look at dolphins, because dolphins are semi like intelligent. And it's funny because dolphins are like also the only animal that can like get depressed. It all has to do with your thought process. The second dimension of intelligence is your identification. So whatever you identify with, whatever you have like a strong emotion towards, like it could be a sports team, it could be like a political thing, but like you said, your ego or your intellect will do everything to protect your identification. So whatever you identify with, your intellect will do everything to protect that and fool you, basically. The third dimension of intelligence is memory, which a lot of people think memory is just your brain, like just your stored data, basically. But there's a lot more to memory. Like your body has memory. Your body has millions of years of evolution just coded into it. Like how do we become a human? How does a horse become a horse? Because there's so much memory stored in like a single DNA strand. If you read every single book in the whole world, you couldn't even scratch the surface of the information that's in a single DNA strand or a single cell. There's so much intelligence in a single cell, but you don't define it as intelligence because it's not like memory. It's not, you're not conscious of it. You're not conscious. Like your great grandpa, his nose is right on your face right now, right? But you don't know how that got there. You're not conscious of what your body does. So there's a lot of different levels of memory. Just like a plant, how does a plant know how to become a plant? It's very intelligent just by itself, which you could say God is intelligence in some extent because everything is intelligence. So what does that make God? I don't know. Food for thought. Anyways, and then the fourth dimension of intelligence is this unbound memory where you don't have your ego or your intellect attached to it. So when you're able to, it's like the universal intelligence, the infinite intelligence, the divine kundalini, whatever you want to call it, a lot of different names for it, but it's basically like that state in meditation where you just have no thought, you're not thinking of anything, you're just one, you're just fully in the moment, in the present with the universe, and you're able to separate your ego, everything that makes up you, all your experiences, like your ego, like I said earlier, the memory. If I wiped away all your experiences, all your memory, all your stored data, what would you be? You like you wouldn't be anything. Like you'd just be life. You'd just be the presence of life. You wouldn't have any, like your ego. That's what I'm saying. Like when you're able to separate that part of everything that makes up Mike Kim, everything that makes up you, when you're able to separate that from how do I explain it? When you're able to separate that and just have no thought and you're just one with the universe. I don't know how deep you want to go.
No,
yeah,
I get it, because when you get rid of that, that's the only thing that separates us from the fluid connection of the interconnection of the world and the universe, is because that it makes us like, that's what can either help us connect further or separate us. Thinking like, we don't fit in, right? Thinking we're not part of it.
it's funny because all the answers you think come from the outside, but you really, when you do that thing where I said where you disconnect, the universe, the infinite intelligence, you can call it, it will tell you the answers. It'll tell you with either like thoughts, or it'll tell you with like an image in your head, but everything that you've been seeking is from within. You have to explore. Everyone looks up at the heavens, looks down, whatever. Everyone wants to explore on the outside to try to find the answers. But the truth is, you have to turn inward. And everything, once you turn inward, you realize you have all the answers within you. But it takes a while to get to that point. So like a lot of people are listening to this right now, like probably just like, this guy's crazy. Like, what the heck is he talking about? But when you're able to do that, your whole life will just be figured out. Like I used to be so stressed out, and like I was saying, like in my intellect, in my ego. But once I let the universe just do its course, like this whole YouTube thing, this success, I feel like I'm not even trying, dude. This whole time has been so enjoyable. I've been so happy. I have like, it's just that happy bliss because when you're thinking of your goals, you're like, oh, I want to be here. I want to have all this money. I want to blah, 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 blah. But you're attaching yourself to that goal, but you're not being fully in the present moment. You have to appreciate the journey and the destination the same, because all these little baby steps lead to the destination. So you can't, your brain should you should be in the future, like in your brain, because a lot of people think of their past. They're stuck in their past, which will cause a lot of anxiety, depression, like when you think your past. But once you're fully in the moment, life just is automatic. It feels so good. I can't even describe it.
It's the power of now.
Ease. Yeah, the power. Dude, Edgar Tolle. I was listening to a lot of Sadhguru. I don't know if he was
Sadhguru. Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to him. Dude, every month I'm listening to like a different guy. Last month I was listening to Sadhguru. This month I'm listening to Edgar Tolle, The Power of Now. Mm-hmm. Like when I meditate, I have all these new insights, all these new like profound things that like light switches almost. I like oh shoot, I didn't even think about that. But then during the day, I listen to all these self-improvement stuff, and it connects the dots and it accelerates my learning so much quicker, because I was like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. And like, you just connect the dots. So I'm consciously practicing, and then it's not unconscious, but when you disconnect, you're also practicing. So you're practicing consciously
on a subconscious level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, when you're able to, like the whole thing, yin yang, the perfect balance, when you're able to have perfect harmony with your consciousness and your subconscious, that's when you're able to go to that place where I'm talking about, when you have perfect harmony. It's like a marriage. It's like you want to marry those two parts of your brain. I became like enlightened, you could say, like probably like 3 months ago. Not even that long ago. So I'm just like, I'm just at the beginning stages. I can't even imagine like 10 years from now how I'm going to be able to describe it. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, because I mean, you're just trying to make sense of it for yourself. Like you feel it. You obviously understand what it's doing to you, what it's doing for you, but it's just living in it longer that'll help put things more into words, right? Mm-hmm. But so I totally understand, man.
It's your whole perception of life is just totally flipped. Like I used to think like, what is reality? What is all this stuff? And then I finally now I finally understand it. It's like a user manual for your mind. Like everyone's living their whole life doing all this stuff. But if you never read the user manual, like how are you going to know what to do? Like no one knows how to use their mind. No one. Like less than 1% of people know how to control their mind. We are in a modern day slavery right now. Everyone is everyone's emotions is controlling them. They don't even realize it. They're unaware of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. They don't think, where does it come from? They just think, I feel this way, so this is all it is.
Yeah, like you become that emotion. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like when you take your ego and you separate it, you're taking a step back. Like is the world round or flat?
Round.
How do you know that?
Because I just accepted it.
Someone told you.
Yeah, no, someone told me. I have not seen it. I don't know what, I haven't done the research.
So like you have two options. When someone tells you something, you could either believe it or not believe it. Those are those are your two options.
But also that one doesn't care. I don't care about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, you'll see where I'm going. You'll see where I'm going.
Yeah.
So it's like you can either believe it or not believe it, but it's only true to you if you've experienced it.
Facts.
Like, it's only, you have to experience it. So how we saw the world was round is we went to space, took a step back. Oh, we're like, oh, the Earth's round. You know. So that's what you have to do with your mind. You have to take a step back when your anxiety comes up. You look at it. You just like, oh, you recognize it, you acknowledge it, but you just keep it there. You're just like, oh, there's that thought. It's just a thought, empty vessel, brush it away. You don't have to become that emotion. A lot of people, when they get anxiety, they are the anxiety. It's like they become it. But when you're back, step back looking at it, you're just like, oh, just a thought. Go away. Like you can just ignore it. You can just ignore it completely.
That's very true. I think exactly the same when you think about that too, because when you look at it from, the example, that's a good example, by the way, of the whole, like, the world, let me look at it from.
I got that from Sadhguru.
Sadhguru. Thank you, Sadhguru. The goat of our time. He's very good. Very good. But from the outside, right? Look at it from a third person perspective. Like, I do that. I literally visualize that when I think of, when I'm feeling like really crazy, right? Like some kind of, like, let's say, going back to anxiety. I feel anxiety. I'll look at it from this weird, like just the way you said it, just like outside of me. And then I just think I'm looking at myself and that thing, what it is, and just ask why. And I reverse engineer. I always reverse engineer.
Observer. You're the observer. You're just observing everything. That's what, like, you're just observing your life. That's when you, like, when you're meditating, you're just observing everything. You don't attach yourself to anything. You're just the observer.
Yeah. Instead of just just accepting everything, like you said, that, oh, why is the world round? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I just accepted it. But so other things internally, I'm not just like, oh, it's just what it is, right? But the world thing, I'm like, yeah, I guess it is. Fuck it.
Once you're able to control your mind, that's when your whole world changes. Once you have that, like that switch go off, and you're like, oh. And you'll get better and better at it. I still, like, I struggle sometimes, but I was telling you off camera, like, right before we talked, like, you have to appreciate your highs and lows are the same. You cannot let a bad, like, life is never going to happen the way you want it. Never, ever, ever, ever. So when those bad things happen, you can look at it as, like, this is a test to me. Like, you need to use it as a test. Like, oh, this is not going to affect me, blah, blah, blah. But then when the good things happen, like, just recognize it, like, acknowledge it, but you just recognize, it's like the same. You got to look at them the same. Your highs and lows, you got to look at them the same.
Yeah, don't get married to it. Like, Gary Vee talks about that all the time, and that's what I've been thinking about lately, because of, as we talked about, how married to the vanity metrics I've become, to the whole, that shit.
It's because you start looking for it for happiness, and you don't want that.
Yeah, and before I fucking didn't. I didn't care. And it's somewhere along the way, I allowed myself to get to that position. But, I'm not beating myself up. That's another thing, guys. Whoever's listening, never beat yourself up for going off the path, making a mistake, whatever, because that is just another form of, like, self-pity.
Every mistake you learn. Every mistake you learn. There's no such thing as failure, because you're learning from every failure.
Samuel Beckett.
I believe it. Is that a quote?
Yeah. There's no such thing as failure, only results. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time.
I didn't know. But yeah, when you win, you win. When you lose, you still win. Like,
yeah, because you learn. Because it's a thing. Exactly. It's an experience. It's all experiences.
Mm-hmm. Damn it, dude! You're already, like, I feel like you're already there. You just need this little push.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just I know I'm there. It's just easy to lose myself. Because actually, I was thinking about while you were talking that I've been watching way more anime, which before I wasn't watching anime for, like, a long time.
Yeah, I haven't watched any in a long time.
And actually, you're right. There's a huge correlation between that and depression, or, like, those type of feelings when I watch too much. If I watch, like, 1 episode a day, I'm fine. But when I watch, like, 5 or 6, it just fucks me up in my head because what you watch with your eyes, the content that you absorb, it fucking does affect your conscious and
A
the way you
lot.
think. Yeah, so that's why I stopped watching horror movies because those things, for 3 days, I'll get paranoid and be like, what's that? You know, like thinking
Some people
things are
love
against me.
that. Some people will become like they start to love that. I'm just like, what? Like you're crazy, dude. Like they don't know how their brain works. But what you're saying is very important because so your conscious mind, like the front part of your brain, is very personal. It's very selective. It's very like focused. Like you pick and choose. But your subconscious mind, it doesn't know any thoughts, like your words that you talk. It doesn't recognize any of that. The only thing your subconscious mind recognizes is emotion. So you have to it will, in any emotion you feel throughout the day, it will imprint into your subconscious, and your subconscious rules 95% of your life. More than that. I guarantee you more than that.
Mhm.
But so when you change your subconscious, you'll change your reality. So it does it automatically. I don't know how to describe it. So you have to be very conscious of what you're looking at during the day. You have to, because whatever your emotion or whatever you're paying attention to, like that's why I don't watch the media. I don't watch the news. I don't watch. I'm out. So much negativity, and that will imprint into your subconscious without you even knowing it if you're not aware of it. So you have to be very conscious of everything you watch. The media is meant to divide. It's part of your ego. Your ego is meant to individualize and separate you from other people, which is not the way of the universe. If you look at it through racism, if you look at it through politics, all these are human constructs made by the ego to separate us. It's all made to separate us. But if you just recognize we're all humans, we're all spiritual beings, like we're all here. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Like, come on, like you're thinking at such a low level of consciousness. Yeah. We're all the same. We are all the same. But not everyone. People cannot go beyond their level of consciousness. So they can't, they don't have the understanding like that I have or that you have, you know?
It's because they seek pain, because the easiest way to get an identity is through negativity. Whether that be through seeking pain, like purposely going through drama, people that are drama hounds, that's the best way for them to get instant
they like it
sense. Yeah, because they like it because it gives them like worth. Like there's a reason for their life.
Your ego likes it. That's why I'm saying, like, the depression, when I was in depression, like some part of me liked it. I was just like, I liked suffering. I liked self-sabotaging because my ego didn't want to let go of that. I don't know. I liked just that horrible feeling. But I know that wasn't the true me. That was just my ego trying to protect itself, which the ego is it's not a good or bad thing. Like I said, nothing's good or bad unless you put the meaning to it. Mm-hmm. But the ego, how would I put this? I just lost my train of thought.
Nothing's good or bad.
Right,
but the ego controls. I don't know.
Dude, it's all those ganja stuff, dude. All these years. But your ego, I can't even remember. I totally lost my train of thought.
But the ego likes to suffer. Like wants you to suffer. Yeah.
So you start to just enjoy it. Dude, I cannot even remember what I was going with.
No, I know how you feel because it was just, Koreans do this a lot too, where they like to talk about how fucked up life is going. Like that's how they bond. Like Koreans from Korea, that's what they owe. That's what my dad hated going to. Really I know, right? It's fucking, it's whole. That's why people love Korean dramas, because Koreans understand pain, because they just like they thrive in it. We fucking thrive in it, right? So, that's why my dad hated going to. Now I'm not saying that's a good reason to not go, but he didn't like going to holidays and stuff because he's like, he would say that all they would do was gossip, and he didn't want to hear that. He wanted to talk about like business or how we can. Well, he said make more money, but what he meant by that was because they're immigrants. So how do we be more secure financially, like stuff like that? So it's a different mentality, I guess. But yeah, I mean, when you're around people that gossip, I'm actually gonna make a video today about like if you gossip, you know what that means. Like it's fucking bullshit. Yeah.
It's hard to tell people how to. The people that are like sleeping or unconscious, like they're not aware. Like it's hard to convince them or tell them how to fix themselves, you know, without their ego becoming like affected. Because your ego will be like, oh, and then instantly they're defensive, and you're doing the exact opposite of what you're trying to do.
Well, they'll fight back because they're like, who are you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that is I learned I just have to accept who they are. If I still want them in my life, like certain family members, kind of accept them for what they are, and then don't get too attached to like the expectation of them fitting into your life and what role.
Yeah, you can't let them affect you. You can't let them affect you.
No,
that's the main thing. Because I have like some friends where, like, I know they're lost. Like one of my friends is like, he's like an intellectual. He's like his whole identity is based on his intellect. Is just he thinks he's always right, and that's it. That's everyone with their ego is gonna have different challenges. Like mine was depression, yours anxiety, depression. His is like his intellect thinking he already knows everything. But so like everyone's gonna have a challenge they have to overcome. But I'm glad I didn't have the intellect one because I don't know. He's gonna have to. Life is gonna teach him. You have to understand that you can't teach someone. Life is gonna do itself. Life will run its course whether you like it or not.
And you'll find out. Yeah. Oh, is he one of those guys that likes to?
He's like becoming a lawyer. And he's just, I
get. There you go.
Dude,
yeah.
Dude, but he won't even like. He's like one of those guys who's like blah 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 blah, and then I'll send him like a video, skip through all of it, and then he argues. I'm like, dude, you didn't even watch the video. How are you gonna like? I'm not gonna send you anything anymore because like he doesn't even listen to the other side because he thinks he's right. You know? I'm just like
so very close-minded, which stunts your growth. Because how do you know?
That's what another thing. That's like I don't identify with any politics. I don't identify with any of that stuff because when you have strong positions in something, that means you're closed-minded, and when you're closed-minded, suffering is inevitable. Like you have to have an open mind at all times.
It's very true. That ties in with like having expectation. Expectation leads to suffering. Because by you taking a strong stance on something, you're expecting everything to be that way. That's looking through the lens of that.
You're attaching yourself to it, and you don't want to do that. Basically, like if you want to look at it like happiness, you can break it down simply. Is like you're unhappy where you not want to be in life, and you're happy if you are where you want to be in life. It's like you just can't attach yourself to things, or you will suffer because you're trying to picture yourself in the future where you want to be. But like I said earlier, you're not in the present moment.
That's true. And you know, it's funny. You can see these papers on the wall, right? I stopped looking at that maybe 2 weeks ago, and that's when things started to go downhill. I'll read one of them, which has exactly to do with what we're talking about. The one that's right there that says, when I believe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, then I am at peace and I'm productive. Thinking about what, who, or where I should be mostly brought anxiety, regret, and despair. Take a deep breath and say, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Dang, dude, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. You got a little, I don't have that, but I have, like just like my goals and like my mindset and stuff. I have it written in my notes, which I look at from time to time. I just look at it throughout the day. If you ever have like, just like you notice you're going into that depression or you're going into that anxiety, just pull out your phone, like look at it and be like, oh, okay. It kind of helps you switch easier.
You have to snap back into like conscious thought versus getting sucked back into unconscious thinking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever astral projected, like dreaming or like lucid dreams or anything?
Dude, actually, I think 2 weeks ago, I did the lucid dreaming is when you put yourself in the dream, right? Like you're physically like controlling it.
Dream. Astral projecting is a little bit different. They're different, but kind of similar.
I did the lucid dreaming. It was fucking insane. Like I wanted to break out of it. I wanted to leave it because it was like scary, but I was like, no. Remember what you
Accidental?
learned. Yeah, accidental. Remember what you did. Remember what you're supposed to do. You're training. Run towards the fear. That's where you grow. So I was like, okay,
You
just
have to
relax.
fully surrender.
It's normal. I surrendered. Yes, I surrendered. And I just felt it. And it was like the craziest thing. I felt such bliss because I was like moving my hands and doing stuff. And I felt I was in the dream world looking around. But in a dream world, it wasn't that different than the real world, but maybe a little bit more colorful. But the biggest difference was the feeling. I was in pure ecstasy, just like, wow. And I wanted to escape from it. I was like, no, this is too much. It's like, go back to normal or suffering, whatever. But it was like, no. Let it be. And I was like in peak optimal fucking bliss that whole period of time. I was like focused on, I had to consciously focus on letting go to be in control of staying in the thing. Right?
Yeah. That bliss, dude.
It's crazy.
I love just that pleasant bliss. It's that ecstasy in your brain that gets released. It's just, it feels so good. That's why like drugs, they're like, all these people are operating at lower levels of consciousness. They're operating on pleasure. They're operating on food, sleep. Like those are all your biological needs. Like you are not your body or your mind. It's much deeper than that. But when you succumb to your biology, when your body, you give into your body needs, your pleasure, those are just so small. They're like small pleasures. Those are such a small pleasure compared to the pure bliss that you get when you're above that stuff. Like yogis, they're just they're not into pleasure. They're just not into the small pleasures, which I totally understand now. I was just like, geez, a lot of the stuff you won't even understand what I'm like. A lot of people watching right now, they won't even understand what I'm saying until a certain point in their life where they can finally get it.
Yeah, because when I tell my friends or other guys, sex does not bring me joy, they don't understand it.
They're just operating on pleasure.
Yeah. Exactly, because they're using the whole point of the way majority of guys operate by with sex is they use that for instant gratification to feel like they're succeeding in life. So every time they smash, it feels like, oh, I'm there's conquest. I'm leveling it up, but really you're not going anywhere because you're not growing anyways. Because it's not a relationship, and two, it's just every time you leave the person, go to the next person, you're doing the same shit. Because you're not really.
There's no fulfillment.
There is no true fulfillment. Because I used to do crazy amounts of online dating. I used to always seek, sexual pleasure, and I always felt shit. I always felt shitty. It never felt good. Even when I quote unquote succeed, I finally realized after years and years, a few years ago, I was like, dude, this sucks.
It's because you're operating on pleasure. It's literally just you're sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term pleasure. There's a big difference between long-term satisfaction and short-term pleasure. When you give into that short-term pleasure, you're sacrificing the long-term. Even the sex and everything. When you drain your life force, you're literally, your body will become depressed almost. I'm just you'll notice all the guys, every guy knows what I'm talking about. Your body just becomes depressed because you're releasing all that life force.
Dude, when I talk to people about this, though, they don't agree with me. I tell them even when I jack off, I'm like, dude, I get more anxiety. I get more sad even after sex. I'm just like, fuck. And then I start thinking, what if I just never had sex again? I would think about that sometimes. I'm like, fuck.
Dude, I already told myself, I don't even have it in my brain. I don't even care about it. I'm not going to let it control me. When you don't let it control you and you are in total mastery of your mind, you can do anything, dude. The world is just possible, anything. Just like when you're a kid, you can dream, you can do blah, 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 blah. And then eventually over time, you're conditioned by society, and then you have all these negative thoughts, I can't do that, blah, 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 blah. That's the whole thing. Manifesting is it gets rid of all your fears. You can do anything you think of, anything that you can create in your brain, you can do. everything that was manifested, everything that was created on this earth today was originally created in the brain. You look at planes, people would think that, oh, you're stupid, that would never happen. But someone stuck with it in their brain eventually made it happen. You look at cell phones. If you told someone 100 years ago you could talk on a cell phone, like they look like you're a crazy person, like witchcraft or something. But someone manifested it because they knew, they turned their imagination into reality. And that's the whole basis behind manifesting is like you make your reality, your thoughts. Every religion in the world, there's so many different, they all disagree on everything except for one thing, is that you become your thoughts. Your thoughts become reality. That is the most simple, that is a secret to the whole universe, but less than 1% of people will get it, will understand it.
Actually, now that you bring that up, when you would ask me, do I manifest? If we're talking from that standpoint of like thought to manifesting to reality, but without the whole like, oh, I'm gonna get 150,000 followers, whatever. Besides that, if we're talking like I'm gonna think positive and that's gonna manifest to my reality being positive, I do that. I do that all the time, which is what led me to being able to leave my job 2 years ago to start pursuing things I really wanted to do, which led to actual happiness, less money.
But you manifest being positive.
No, I manifest like, so I'm thinking right now like I'm not gonna think, like I'll catch myself thinking if I don't get this many views on a video, then that means I'm not doing well. So if I catch myself and say, oh, I posted a video, you're doing work, that's fucking fantastic. So I reframe that, I pivot that, and then that's gonna manifest into my real life, the physical realm of more joy by leading to me doing more action. Does that make sense? That kind of doesn't make sense. Yeah, I lost myself a little bit too.
I lost a bit. But
well, yeah, I know what you meant, but this was very tough for me to express.
Explain. Yeah. Well, manifesting for me is like basically I go into that deep meditation state where you're kind of in this void with no thought, and then all of a sudden like you'll visualize where you want to be, and then you just let go and you just go back into no thought, and you just become that whole emotion. You just fully surrender into that feeling, that place where you already made it.
Yeah.
You just fully surrender in that, and that dude, that feeling feels, I can't even describe it. It feels so good. But they like some people say like you like fake it till you make it, but I don't know. You're supposed to like reel it till you make it. It's a lot. It's
oh, reel it
different.
To fulfill it to fulfill it.
Yeah, there you go, dude. There you go. You just came up with one. But yeah, it's different. You tweaked it because like you're actually, it's real. It's like it's happened.
Yeah. So that's something that I did a lot too, especially after I went to a few Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within, because he does that every morning too. But he imagines like that being a light dropping from the sky and then hitting your body and just spreading to every part of your body, like a healing light.
I can't even when I meditate, my whole head tingles, like vibrates like crazy.
Yeah.
When I get into that state, like I'm just like, and then everything starts vibrating. I'm just like, what the heck's going on? And throughout the whole day, I can feel my brain tingling throughout the whole day. I'm just like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it is, if I'm like connected to like, I don't want to go like deep into that, but it's, I don't know what it is, but it feels really good. And I can just close my eyes, just start thinking about nothing and just focus on that tingling, that feeling in my brain. And I just get into that bliss.
Yeah, that physical feeling that's easy to remember ties back with the emotion of that, right? It's
yeah, well, that's your crown chakra. If you want to like talk about your chakras, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about chakras.
Yeah,
so there's Naruto chakra.
Yeah, it's a lot different. A lot of people, they think chakras is like this, like this is very corrupted. Same thing with like spirituality. People think spirituality is, it's like a very corrupted word. They think you're like believing this like God and you're very just like blah, blah, blah. But spirituality is basically just, you have a higher perception of life. You view life at a different perception. It's not like you believe in like all these like crazy things. So like that word alone, there's like, it's distorted,
Yeah, it's just a way to be able to focus on that specific type of thing to use that as
Yeah,
a
it's like
tool.
your third eye opening. That when people say your third eye is opening, it's basically just like you have a higher perception of life. You look at life differently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could be intellectually realized, like I can be telling you all this, like your third eye, blah blah blah, like higher perception, but you can be intellectually realized, like you realize that, but until you are experientially realized, I can't pronounce that, but until you're experienced it, then that's when you understand it. Like you can intellectually understand it, but you don't really understand it.
Yeah, because you're not going to fully conceptualize it unless you've been in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I understand that a punch fucking hurts, but until you get punched, you don't really know that it hurts.
Yeah. You haven't experienced it. That's what I was saying. When I asked you about the Earth earlier, is like you don't know it's true because you've never experienced it. You're only saying it's true because someone told you to, and you can either
True.
believe it or not. So like everything in your life has to come from experience. It's a bad thing about school because school is just tells you like learn this, blah 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 blah, but it's just information. But information is useless. We're gonna have phones. We have a phone that can pull up anything in like 2 seconds. We're gonna have like Elon Musk is working on that brain thing. Like we're gonna be able to have access to all this data. It's all useless. You need to have experience. That's like experience is what real knowledge is. And how can I put it? Lost my train of thought again.
Roboto.
Rebooting.
Dom arigato.
Need to reboot. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So like, school just teaches you all this information. Like, it doesn't teach you how to use your body as a tool because you don't. Your body is a tool. You need to know how to use your body to have a successful life. School doesn't teach you any of that. That's why I just thought I was like, this is pointless. Why am I here?
Yeah, sitting down all day. Like sit down all day to study shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Especially when they have no passion about what they're talking about. I'm just like,
Yeah.
if you have, even if like, I remember there was like one teacher in college where I actually like he had an impact because like he was passionate and he like I could tell just his energy. He wrote the textbook. You know, people like give out textbooks. He wrote his own textbooks like about this economic stuff. I'm just like, this is crazy. Like you could tell. So it like depends on the teacher too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
99% teachers, they're
They
just
don't give a
there
fuck,
for
dude.
yeah. They don't care. They don't
I have
care.
friends that are teachers. They're like, yeah, I was just there. The reason why I would show them videos is because I was hungover. I was like, oh damn. No, we don't think about that. We just think like, oh, we're lucky. Yes, it's a video day.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
funny.
just teachers are fucking human too, man, and that's just what it is, though. But yeah, this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
But I do so. Before we end the podcast, do you have anything you'd like to leave the listeners with, Tom? Anything?
Um, I said it already, but I'll say it again because it's super important. Well, I'll say two things. You need to get your mind right, and you need to honestly, meditation is the best practice to separate you from your ego. So you really need to practice. Just set a challenge to meditate every day for 30 days. You don't have to have any spiritual belief. You don't have to have any belief in anything, but you will notice that there is a huge impact on your life. And I guarantee you'll be hooked since then. And the second thing, and if you, with the 30-day challenge, if you mess up, you got to start your 30 days over again. That's the rule. And then, what else? Your thoughts become reality. You are what you think is probably the biggest secret in the universe. You can manifest anything you want. Anything anything that tells you you're not, like any fear or doubt, you have to totally ignore that in your head. That's why a lot of people that have faith are like simple minded. Like faith basically in the chemistry of your brain is just getting rid of all these negative thoughts. So you need to really, how do I put it? you'll know what I'm talking about when you meditate and you understand it more.
Oh man, I wanted to end. I was gonna just let it go like that, but I want to add. That's exactly the same way I think about faith. When I think about religion, it's just another way of escapism. It's not dealing with what's really fucking going on. You don't face it. You're expecting some higher being to just get rid of it for you, to heal you, instead of you doing it on your own accord. Because when you do it by yourself, on your own, it makes you stronger. It makes you believe, or it makes you know that you can handle anything.
You have to have a simple mind to have faith. A lot of people that are very intellectual, they can have as much faith as they think, but they'll always have doubts and fear because they're like, So it's only the simple-minded people that have faith that can really succeed. Like if you say you're going to build a house for like $50, and you pray to your God, like, oh, I have $50, can you build me a house? And they give complete faith into it. So when they're giving complete faith into it, they're getting rid of all the negative thoughts, all the fear, blah, blah, blah. They don't even think about it. They don't know how they're going to get there. They just know what's going to happen. That's the same thing with manifesting. You have to you just know what's going to happen. Get rid of all the fear. You have to give faith into that voice in your head. You'll recognize your higher, truer self when you get deeper into it. But when you give complete faith into that and you just ignore fear, ignore all doubt, there's no stopping you.
It leads to more action. So what I meant by that was doing that. It's good to have faith and taking action, but if you're just hoping that, God will take care of it all and you don't do anything with it, that's an issue, is what I was getting at too.
Yeah.
Which ties in with what you were saying, I believe, right?
Yeah. yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back, look at the camera.
Look at the camera. Okay. Social media. Plug in your social medias.
My social media, everything is Tomfool, TOMFOOL_. All my social medias, except for Instagram. I think there's like 2 underscores, but you'll just type in my name, you'll see it.
Yeah, you'll see. He's the only Tomfool. So,
yeah,
guys, you heard a lot of amazing things today. Hopefully, and not just hopefully, but I know you learned a lot. Okay, and if you took some things personally and it hurt your feelings, it is what it is. But you made it to the end, so that tells me you can handle life. So, thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Set Breaker Podcast, and I will see you on the next episode.